All right, let's get right to it. The next senator from the state of Arkansas to the U.S. Senate, our representative from District 4, presently, Tom Cotton. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you, Larry. I appreciate it. Thank you.
As we were driving in, I said plenty of room to move. I said this would be a good test of the hardiness of the Republicans in Hot Springs Village to come out on a Saturday, a year before the election, in weather like this. And once again, you did not disappoint. Now, if I heard one thing more than anything in my campaign last year for Congress from folks in the Hot Springs Village, it was, please stop Obamacare and Barack Obama. Yes. But if I heard a second thing, almost as much as that, it was, I'm sorry, I can't vote for you. I live in Saline County. So, just for you, I'm running for the United States Senate, so this year you can vote for me. But that means for all those people who told me last year that you couldn't vote for me in Saline County, you have to work extra hard and get 5 more people to the polls as well to make sure that we carry Saline by a big margin, even as big as we carried Garland County last year. So, I want to look back just a couple years to where we were 3 years ago in 2010. You think the last weekend in October of 2010, we still had no statewide Republicans elected. We had only a quarter in both our state house and our state senate. We only had 1 out of our 6-seat federal delegation. Look how far we have come in just 2 election cycles. We now have a majority in the state house and the state senate. We have 3 out of our 7 statewide offices, and we have 5 out of 6 seats in the United States Senate and Congress. And when I'm done meeting Mark Pryor next year, it's going to be 6 out of 6. And that's because of the hard work and the dedication of people like you. People who come out on a cold and rainy day, a year before an election, to hear from all these great candidates and get ready to go to work for another conservative victory in Arkansas. Because we have become the majority party in Arkansas, and after next year, we'll be a lasting and an enduring majority party in Arkansas. And that's because Arkansans stand for conservative values, which is what the Republican Party has always stood for. Constitutional and limited government, the free enterprise system, individual liberty, traditional morality, strong national defense. That set of principles is what has always made America great and free and prosperous. That's what's made us the majority party in this state, and that's what's going to carry us to be a lasting and enduring majority next year, and to take back the United States Senate to stand up to Barack Obama even more in Washington, D.C. And when you think about all of those principles, is there a greater affront to them today in America than Obamacare? A law that creates a net of fines and taxes and mandates and penalties, that tells you the kind of contracts you can and cannot sign with other private parties, that presumes to dictate to you and your family your health care needs, your budget, what doctors you can and can't see. We just went through a government shutdown in Washington, D.C. Now, some in the media try to blame that on Republicans. I think here in Arkansas, we've seen that Arkansans know better. They know that Republicans, like all of your congressmen and John Bozeman, voted to fund the government every time they had a chance to do so. Before the shutdown, during the shutdown, and to end the shutdown. It was Mark Pryor and Harry Reid and Barack Obama who shut this government down, all to protect Obamacare. They all committed a grave mistake 4 years ago when they rammed Obamacare through on straight party line votes in the dead of night on Christmas Eve. They had a chance to make amends for that mistake. Small amends. We gave them multiple opportunities. Think about the final piece of legislation that the Senate voted down before the government was closed. Funded all of the government with 2 simple conditions of basic fairness. 1, Congress should have to follow Obamacare just like the American people have to follow it. And two, workers and families should get the same 1-year break from Obamacare that the president already gave to businesses. That's it. How could anyone object to those two basic principles of fairness? Congress has to follow the laws it imposes on the American people, and workers and families get the same deal that businesses get. But they would choose to shut down the government rather than accept those two principles. They would rather keep their special exemption from Obamacare than keep the government open. Well, that's now behind us, and Obamacare is continuing to roll out. Or should I say, the wheels are falling off of it as it rolls out. And what is Mark Pryor and all those Democrats in the Senate who are up for re-election saying? Oh, we need to delay Obamacare now. Friends, they had a chance to delay Obamacare last month. Now they're doing it because they're starting to feel the political pressure. So they want to delay the penalty for not having health insurance. Well, they had a chance to do that in September. So maybe it really was all about keeping their special subsidies and their special exemption from Obamacare. The day of reckoning is coming for Mark Pryor and for Barack Obama and for every other Democrat who supported that law when it first passed 4 years ago and who defends it tooth and branch today. Because there's no law that is a greater affront today than Obamacare, that is imposing more hardship on our Kansans and our fellow countrymen all around this country. Some of you may have already lost access to your doctor. Maybe your Medicare premiums are going up. Maybe you have sons or daughters, grandsons or granddaughters who have lost their insurance plans, as 16 million people are expected to lose their insurance plans around this country. Maybe they can't get access to a website, which frankly none of us can either. Maybe they can't get a job, or the job they can get is only 20 hours or 29 hours as employers try to avoid Obamacare. That law, as it continues to roll out, or as the wheels continue to fall off of it, is a complete fiasco. It will not work because it cannot work. And the people who imposed it on us are going to hear from all of us next November. What we need in the meantime, though, is the kind of dedication you're showing today. To come out on a cold and rainy Saturday, a year before an election, to stand with your fellow Republicans, to stand and fight for liberty. There's going to be a lot of other opportunities to serve on campaigns, to volunteer, to help, as Bill said. We need you to do that. We can't win this election, whether it's your United States Senate down to JP, without your help over the next year. Right now, it may only be talking to your friends, talking to your church members, calling back to folks from where you retired here from. But come in the spring, and in the summer, and especially the fall, we need you to knock on doors, to make phone calls, to go to mail envelopes out, to contribute money, to volunteer, to ensure that this country remains, as it has been for 200 years, the last best hope for freedom on this earth. Thank you all for what you do. Thank you for coming out today. Let's go win next year in November 2014.
Isn't he great?